Hey there, good morning. Happy Monday, June 26th today, 2023. Big weekend of racing around the world. I gotta say I'm a little light on sleep because I got up to watch Roth. It was such an amazing race. If you did not watch Roth, try to catch a replay or just catch the highlights or something like that, because I have such an appreciation for endurance sports, and I know how hard it is to prepare, not only as an age grouper, but also as a professional athlete. These guys put their heart and their soul into their training every single day. And to see it come together on the day for different athletes, it's just so impressive. It's so exciting and it's inspiring. And it got me out the door early today for my run, and knowing that we were going to start some Mobility Monday here. So it's a little bit early. As you know, I usually say if you're not early, you're late, and get your foam roller. And let's just spend a little bit of time with some tissue release using the foam roller. There's lots of different ways you can deal with tissue care. We've got the massage guns, we've got Gua Sha tools. And if you're not familiar, since we are a little bit early, and I know mine is just sitting right here. If you're not familiar with the Gua Sha tool, it's a very little tool. Maybe your doc uses the Graston technique to scrape tissue. I don't advocate that you Graston yourself. I think it really should be left to the experts. But this is a really cool tool, Gua Sha, to just enhance circulation and just really help the gliding between the skin and the fascia and the muscle. And so a lot of times you can control the depth of the work with the Gua Sha tool and just gently working that through the lower leg. I love working it through the lower leg because it really helps with the function of the ankle complex and the lower leg. So I very rarely, I've had plantar fasciitis. If you live long enough, you're going to have plantar fasciitis, right? Well, not really, but hopefully. I had it, and I had an acute case of it. I was running as hard as I could and just heard a pop. I'm lucky I didn't tear anything, but it just started off a cycle of me having to deal with some plantar. So I really never want that again. And I will just create a bunch of heat using the Gua Sha tool down in the lower leg. And it is another tool that you can use on bone a little bit easier. So obviously I think it's a little bit smoother and nicer on the muscle. But if I want to go lightly onto that tibial tuberosity right there and maybe give my patellar tendon just a little bit of love with the Gua Sha, not real heavy on that. I'm not trying to bruise myself. I've seen some people beat the crap out of themselves. I can just kind of use that there. If your quads are chronically tight, if you're stuck in a desk all day, you can use that up in that quad tendon right above the kneecap as well. Those are some of my favorite spots for the Gua Sha. I also use a lot through my head and neck, especially if I've been working a lot on the computer. So Gua Sha tool, cool thing to have. We're going to start with the foam roller. Good morning, everybody. Mobility Monday. We're talking about the races on the weekend. Let's start with the WTCS up in Montreal. Got a couple of favorites in that race for sure. Taylor Knibb and Summer Rappaport. I think they both had amazing days. You know, Taylor is used to being on the podium. Summer did get on the podium. So happy for her. She deserves that. She's been working so hard with her coach, Ian O'Brien. Also happens to be Taylor's coach. But Taylor carried a little bit of fatigue into the race because she had raced the National Time Trial Championships on Thursday in Nashville. And we also know that travel is pretty stressful. Athletes that I pay really close attention to, I have some interest in their performance through helping them, are usually at the top of my list. So in that race, also an impressive run by Beth Potter. I don't have anything to do with Beth, but I do watch her race and I appreciate her talent for sure. She had a nice day. So she was top of the podium in the girls' race. And to be honest, I don't even know what happened in the boys' race. I was in a golf tournament this weekend, so I just kind of focused on my golf game. More on that later. All right, working through the belly of the muscle, lower leg. And we're going to work a little bit of flossing today. So right here, let's put the foam roller right in the middle of the calf, and we're just going to point the toe and flex the toe. So it's all through the ankle mobility, point and flex, and just take that to a comfortable end range. So getting to know the nomenclature of training with me, comfortable end range means don't try to exceed what your body wants to do. Just point your toe, you should feel good tension, you can't go any further, and then the same thing happens on the other side. When we get into this dorsiflex position, the foot pulling towards the shin, let's just evert and invert. Evert, turn the pinky toe, try to get the pinky toe higher than the big toe, and then put it the other way. One way is definitely going to move more than the other. That's okay, that's kind of by design. Okay, good. Just making sure you got full control of that foot. Other side, put the foam roller right in the belly of the muscle. End range, comfortable end range. Push and come back. This is a little bit of a nerve stretch, and it just makes sure that the brain is in fact connecting really nicely to the foot. I know that sounds weird, but it is possible that these nerves can get a little sticky, and then the signaling kind of diminishes a little bit. So this just reinforces that there's good signal going to the foot. Let's invert and evert. 2, 3. Another point of note, couple of strong Canadian performances this weekend. Paula Finley won the National Time Trial Championship up in Canada. I definitely have an interest in Paula's training. And then Jason Pohl, P-O-H-L. If you're not following Jason Pohl, you should be. Jason just threw down a 7:46, I think, Ironman at Roth this weekend. He came 7th overall professional male. We would definitely consider this a breakthrough race for Jason. It's the fastest all-time Ironman from a Canadian. And considering the other strong Canadians, just imagine how proud he must feel. So I have an interest in Jason's training as well, as do a lot of other people, but I'm really lucky to be working with Jason a little bit in the weight room and helping him. The other thing is too, he's just had a lot of adversity, been dealing with a lot of different little issues, and we have just worked through them in a really systematic way. He's just a bright light, a shiner, just a happy person. He just got married, and he's just a great guy, and I'm super, super happy to see him have success at Roth, because that was just really a special, special day. So Paula and Jason for sure. And then kind of a bummer for Timothy. They canceled Mont Tremblant, but even a bigger bummer for the province of Quebec and the people up there dramatically affected by the forest fires and the air quality. It sounds like they made the right decision to cancel Mont Tremblant, but always sad when people prepare for races and they can't do them. So now they got to find something else to do. Let's see, one more. Oh, Taylor's mom, Leslie Nibb, won her age group at 70.3 steelhead. So that was a great performance, and super proud of Leslie. And just all of you guys that follow along, I got to get to know a few more of you. I have layers to how I interact with people and athletes. Some I see in person, some I see online, some follow my programs, but stay connected and let me know. I'll give you a shout out, because it's really, I get excited. It really motivates me when people either are working through adversity and they allow me the opportunity to work through it with them, or B, they feel good and they just keep feeling better. So people kind of fall into all the buckets, and if you do things long enough, hopefully you're following along, we're on our lats. If you do things long enough, you're going to deal with some adversity, and how you come through that is really up to you. I'm really not into the victim mentality. Things don't happen to us without maybe missing some signals along the way, and sometimes it's just bad luck and we need to recover. So anyway, it's all a journey, right? It's just a journey. All right, working through the lats. Good, nice and strong. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the foam roller to the side a little bit, and we're gonna lay on the back. We wanna make sure the pelvis is in a really good position for the week. And from right here, knees up, and we're just gonna elevate the pubic bone and flatten the low back. When you put your hands on your hips, you're definitely gonna feel flat hips. And then go ahead, and if I wanted to slide my hand under your low back, you would drop your pubic bone and create some space under that low back. So we're just gonna work pelvis mobility, so we're flattening the back, flat hips, and then we're dropping the pubic bone, putting yourself into a, this is neutral. This is an anterior tilt. So when you drop the pubic bone, the hips get pointy, and you just always want to reposition that. And you can feel how it affects your head, because every single time, as soon as I flatten my back, my chin goes back up. And then as soon as we drop the pubic bone, the chin goes down. You want to have nice, smooth there. Nice and smooth. Be able to move through that lumbar spine. Okay, right leg straight. Left leg grab. Give it a yank. We're just going to go ahead and just alternate sides. And pay attention to the straight leg. Pay attention to the straight leg. Try to evert, drop the big toe, try to flatten the straight leg, try to keep a nice flat hip. Okay, so now we're working a little bit on that hip decoupling and letting the hip fall in gently and safely into its two different sides. You can't really feel this movement, but right here, this left hip is dropped and the right hip is elevated when you have the right knee up. Now the left hip is elevated and the right hip should drop. We're just back and forth, nice and easy. Okay, so now it's amazing how your arms are just long enough to grab the back of the right leg, pull the toe towards the shin. We're just going to gently work flossing again. This time we're working through the knee and through that whole backside. So you're definitely getting hamstring. You might be getting a little bit of calf. Especially, do not point your toe. Let's pull it the other way, dorsiflex. Right? Nice and easy. Don't force anything. Get into that comfortable end range. I played golf yesterday. I did not run yesterday, so I'm probably not as tight as I usually would be on Monday. Good and good. So you might be asking, hey Erin, how did you do in your golf tournament? Well, I came second. Second in the club. In the gross score, so the overall score. And I also came second in the net. So I played pretty good this weekend. I hope that lasts. It's really hard having two sports that take a lot of time, so I totally understand if there's not a lot of golfers in the crowd. But it is a really fun sport, and I can say that my cycling and running is probably a little bit more on the compromised side right now as I try to get my golf game better. And just nice, easy flossing. All right, good. All right, let's set an anchor down low. So that means put your big toes touching, your heels are apart about 3 or 4 inches, and your knees are touching. That activates the inner thigh. That switches on the internal rotators of the hips. And we just want to apply force there, an isometric hold. Pull your toes and your feet towards your shins. So we're getting long through the heels, long through the calves, and we're activating and we're setting an anchor. If you check in on your hips, there might be a little bit of space under your low back. Don't flatten it. Don't fight for anything. Just pay attention to the position of your pelvis. My hips are pretty flat, so I like that. That means I'm not stuck right now in an anterior tilt. If you ride enough bikes, you're going to be stuck in an anterior tilt. And right now, if you can feel pointy hips, if you can feel that dropped pubic bone, just kind of gently activate the low abdomen, pull the pubic bone towards the belly button and see if you can get your hips flat. All while keeping your anchor nice and strong. Hold that, hold that, hold that. And good. Let's take the fingers, make them like a claw. Half sphere of tension. Put them right next to your hips. Keep your anchor strong, knees are still touching. Toes are pulling towards your shins. Elbows and wrists off the ground from right here. Push, isometric push, heels into the ground. Keep your anchor strong. Pushing your heels into the ground, pushing your heels into the ground, and release. That's an isometric contraction of the posterior chain, the hamstrings, and the calves for sure. Let's do that one more time. Fingertips strong into the ground, wrists and elbows off the ground, toes touching, heels apart, knees together. Ready, push, heels into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. So by activating the center of the body, the adductors pull the pelvis hopefully into a nice neutral position, and we're going to get a nice little stretch. Let's go left foot onto right knee and just give that a nice little stretch. That's going to stretch the lateral part of the hip. And since we already switched on and activated the inside of the thigh, we're going to get a little bit enhanced stretch through the lateral part of the leg. And this is the part that gravity and ground really can get the lower body a little bit more. On the outside, we tend to get tight. So now we got right foot on left knee, and just grab here, and just a nice comfortable end range for the right side. Just nice and easy, and I've got a little bounce going there. A little bit of movement. We'll get one more on each side. Good. All right. Left foot on right knee. Grab the back of the right thigh. Nice and easy. Good. And then the other side. And good. All right, let's get that on up. Next thing we want to do is just kind of explore a bear stance. So a bear stance, we're going to start here. This is quadruped. So we've got a nice flat back. Tuck your toes underneath. And we're just going to lift the knees up just a little bit and then put the knees down. Push the hips back on the heels. Nice and easy from the quadruped position. Knees are parallel right now. Gently pushing back. Okay, get back to neutral. Hold that nice and strong. Lift the knees up. Get your head up. Don't look down. Hold that nice and strong. Isometric hold. Bear stance. Good. Knees back down. And just gently work. So the bear stance is bringing in a little isometric hold. Again, we're using more muscle activation to enhance mobility and flexibility. Right? Nice and easy. I don't usually use the F word, flexibility. Good. All right, hold that nice and neutral. Pull your chin back into your throat. Nice strong head position. Knees up. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees back down and just gently moving again. Okay, from that quadruped position on hands and knees, we're going to offset your right knee just a little bit so that you're about 2 to 3 inches in front. And again, that's your hip decoupled position. So since your right knee is in front of your right hip is a little bit higher, your left hip should be dropping. So from right there, we're going to work that SI joint gliding. Pull your chin into your throat. Nice strong head position. Rock back. And then look over the cliff, and you might even get a little stretch in those hands and wrists. 2, 3, nice and easy. 4. Hey guys, I think this is week 98. We're coming up on 100 episodes of Monday Mobility Monday. I guess what I'm trying to say about that is I'm excited about the 100 episodes, but I'm really excited we made it. That's a lot. There's only 52 weeks in a year. All right, ready? So we've been doing this for 2 years. All right, left leg in front of right, right leg back just about 2 or 3 inches. You always want to kind of spread the fingers. So the same concept about the brain talking to the extremities. When we do the flossing through the feet, we really want to understand that the brain needs to talk to the feet. The importance of the feet in performance and life is really, really important not to ignore. The same thing with your fingers. So let's go spread the fingers, nice and strong, chin back into throat, nice head position, and we glide the other side and look way over the cliff. Movement through the wrists, SI joint gliding in the back. We just have to trust that it's happening because of the offset knee position. It's also a very safe position, so chances are very good your nervous system isn't shutting down the movement because we're down in the quadruped. We use positions of stability where the brain feels safe to enhance mobility. Make sense? Good. Sometimes I get into a little bit of trouble from people who want to progress really, really quickly. And if you follow me on Twitter, Twitter's just another place where I actually have a lot of strength and conditioning and coaching friends. I learn a lot. I get a lot of research through Twitter. So I do use it. I don't tweet very often, but today I just felt compelled to put out to the world via Twitter how important patience is and to understand that there is a journey to be had here in performance, high performance, human performance. So I hope you enjoyed Mobility Monday today. Thank you again for coming. It was simple, but don't be fooled. What we did today will really, really come back to you in a really, really good way. We will be patient. We will continue to be here. I'm really excited for our 100th episode. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll give some stuff away. We'll see. But anyway, have a great week. Thanks for joining me this morning. Peace.